Hi guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. Thanks for tuning back in. Thanks for coming back to see me. I'm really pleased you've done so, and I'm really pleased about to feature a UK brand, one I've been aware of for a while. It's a Marloe. This is the Solent timer. I reached out to them. They're a brand that I've known a lot about for a while. They've got quite a few different watches to choose from. I spoke to a gentleman called Rob, really nice. He said I could borrow one in to review. So he gave me a couple of choices, and this is the one I landed on. Really cool watch. Have you guys ever heard of a Nautical compressor that's also a dressy piece? Because I haven't, and I've got to be honest, it was one that I was unsure about, but getting it in hand, I love the fact that it's very dressy. It's got a high beat movement. It's got a sapphire sandwich. It's very vibrant. It's like I said, you can time things with the compressor style bezel, the inner rotating bezel. Like I said, there was lots of boxes it was ticking. And like I said, I haven't really seen an awful lot like it. So that's why I really wanted to get it in. There's a few different color variations to choose from. And it comes in about £399. So there's going to be different exchange rates, which I include in the thumbnail. But yeah, it's definitely one to look at, guys. Like I said, if you want a colorful, vibrant piece that has really nice aesthetic, really looks the business, I think this one's got you covered. Like I said, many other things to choose from on their website, so do have a look. But I'll leave a link in the description. If you like this watch, please take a look. But also do peruse through their catalogue of watches. There's quite a lot to choose from. But I'm going to stop going on, because what you want to do is you want to see the watch, not look at me. So yeah, thanks for tuning back in. And with that being said, it's about that time to get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys, so this is the watch. This is the packaging I got with it. Really quite good packaging actually. Solent timer. Just give me 1 second. Let's get a bit of card out. So it just comes with a little bit of information about the watch. Solent timer, bits and pieces. All this information I'm going to go through anyway. Just a card with some of those details on. Inside you'll see it's like a check. It's almost like denim inside. I've left the watch ready to review. I sort of set the time and took the crown out just so it was a viewer-friendly position, so you could sort of see everything. So that's the watch. That's everything there, guys. Let me just put that all to the side. And also, let me just bring up the packaging. So this was the packaging in its entirety. And I've got to say, I was extremely impressed. Like I said, this is a £399 watch. So yeah, you're going to think, all right, so it's not an inexpensive watch, but the packaging was quite something, really. So yeah, that's a picture of all that. So this is the watch, guys. Let me just undo this quickly. So this is the Solent timer. Yeah, this is the orange one. There's a few different other color variations to choose from. I'll bring up now actually, so you can have a good old look, see which color is more in keeping with your taste. But I'm really happy they sent me the orange one. Orange and green ones are watches generally, especially like this, tend to be the sort of colors I go to, as well as the sort of defaults, blacks, whites, and blues and stuff. But yeah, Solent timer. So inside it's running a Citizen Miyota 9039 movement. I'll bring some information up about that movement now. As you'll see, I'm doing my shots a little bit differently nowadays. But it's not an unattractive movement. It's got nice perlage on there. And yeah, looks the business. 24 joules, 28,800 beats per hour, 40-hour power reserve. And the sweep on it is much nicer than you get in other watches that are not 4 hertz. But yeah, I really like the Miyota 4K series of movements. It's amongst my favorite. I really like getting it in a watch. And this is the no date variant as well. So they haven't put a date watch in a no date watch, if you know what I mean. So it's nice to see. So yeah, nice movement, rugged, reliable, does the business. The construction of the watch, aside from the crystal on the front and back, and the strap is all 316L stainless steel. So you'll see it's all high polish. That's the bezel, the case, got the crown. You got a bit of sort of B-blast effect on the crown for the time. That crown is for the inner rotating bezel. Outer part of the exhibition case, but again, all high polished 316L stainless steel, and is the pin buckle clasp. You'll see in the intro, they did provide a sort of black canvas sort of strap. I've got to say, I didn't really think that I thought it would look good, but it didn't really work in my opinion. This is the strap to go for. I'd like them to have been color matched, but there we go. The case thickness of the watch is 11.4 millimeters. Probably not massively surprising given It's got a 9, because the really good thing about the Miyota 9000 series is they're very thin. See, 11.4 millimeters. The case diameter on this I measure from the 9 to the 3 because that's where the crowns aren't. It was coming at 43.2 millimeters, and when you include the crowns, so if you go from the 2 to the 8 and 10 to the 4, it was coming in at 46.4 millimeters. The lug width on this is 22, and the lug to lug tip to tip is 49.9 millimeters. So one thing I will say, guys, I don't understand why it needs to be quite so oversized in terms of the proportions, but that's neither here nor there. They are what they are. The case back is, as I showed you briefly, is an exhibition case back, screwed down, and it has got a sapphire crystal. So yeah, there you go. And it's got some bits of information about it, because like I said in the intro, it's a sort of, for me, it's an unusual one because it looks like quite a dressy sports watch with nautical features in a rotating bezel, sort of dive sort of influence as well. So yeah, you've got a watch that does an awful lot. But yeah, that's that. You got crowns at the 2 and 4. This one's for the inner rotating bezel. That's for the time. The bezel is a high polish bezel, fixed, but you have got the inner rotating bezel, and we'll talk about that in a few moments. It's on a nice silicone strap. Like I said, I like it to have been color matched, but there you go. Pin buckle clasp signed, as I did show you just a few moments ago. The water resistance, its site has been 100 meters, so that would give you 10 atmospheres of water resistance, and the weight will appear in the top right. It's just below 93 grams. So yeah, a reasonable amount of heft already, given it's only on a rubber strap. So there we are. But let's have a look at the dial in just a bit more detail. So yeah, it's a really striking piece, isn't it? You have the inner rotating bezel that's orange, and you got Arabics from 5 to 55 going up in 5s. Inside that, you've got a minute track that's silver, so it helps you set the time and so on and so forth. You have got a circular sort of batten, if you like, on the inner rotating bezel at the 12 o'clock position. Inside that minute track, you have battens. They look like they've been applied. They look like they've been sunk into the dial. You've got circular ones everywhere. You've got bigger ones. So they're all small, apart from the 3, 6, 9, and 12. The 12 is the largest, and the 3, 6, and 9 are sort of in the mid-range of the size they've used. The dial itself is sort of like a diagonal white and sort of cream pinstripe. At first, when I first put it on, I didn't realise, and I was watching it in different lighting, because sometimes it shows up better than others, and then I realised it was sort of pinstriping at an angle. It looks pretty cool. You got Marloe Watch Company printed on just below the indices at the 12. You got a Solent timer, 10 ATM, which is denoting 10 atmospheres of water resistance, just above the indices at the 6. The colour match in terms of the outer part of the indices to the inner rotating bezel is done well, unlike the strap. The strap needed to be a bit of a darker, deeper orange to be matched with the orange they've used on the dial. But there we go. But yeah, that's everything there. Let me bring up the loom. The loom was okay. I wouldn't say it was great. I wouldn't say it was bad. It was okay. It lasted a little while. Maybe something to think about, and maybe if they do another one. Yeah, the loom's okay. I'm not going to say it's great. I'm not going to say it's bad. It was what it was. So there we are. The movement, as I've said, so you got a 9039 movement. I've already got it unscrewed. If I turn the crown away from me, you can maybe just about pick up. You can hear it charging where I'm hand winding it. Take it out. There's only one position, guys, because it's a 9039 movement, so you can set the time and stuff. Put it back in. This one is the 2 o'clock position. It's fit in the rotating bezel, and yeah, bi-directional. Probably highly surprising. But say, for instance, now, one thing that's a bit challenging is you put it back in, you push the crown in, yeah, you turn it, and as it's screwing up, it does move the inner rotating bezel. And I can't get away from that. It's unavoidable. I've tried so many times. You'll see in my macro shots that the bezel wasn't lined up. And guys, I trust me, I wanted to, but it's so difficult. It always moves. I've tried gauging it to line up. I couldn't get it to line up, guys. But that's the bezel. That's the movement, that's the dial, that's everything going on there. Let me just pop it on the wrist quickly and give you an idea of what it looks like on my wrist. Okay, so guys, this is what it looks like on me. You'll see it's not a small watch. My wrist is just above a 7 inch, probably 7 1/4. And yeah, not inconsiderable, I'll be honest. But that's what it looks like. What do you think, guys? Okay, so guys and girls, that would now take me on swiftly to what I think is pants and Pukka about the watch. If you've ever watched before, you'll know I always start with pants. I do like to go on a high with Pukka. So what I think is pants. Not a lot of things, but there are 3 things I do really want to mention. They're things I've sort of touched upon already. I would go with the size. I do think it's oversized for what it is. I think the maximum this should have been, in my opinion, is 41 millimeters, but I would have probably gone for 40. Oversized, personally. The bezel, like I said, the fact that the bezel is so difficult to try and line up. Like I said, let's move it round so it's actually lined up roughly. Yeah, so we agree that's about lined up. Put the crown in, turn it. You screw the crown up, and it's moved again. It's a tough one to take, I'll be honest. And the color match, like I said, you can clearly see how different the oranges are. So that's one of the first things I noticed. So that's maybe something to do. Quite easy done. Just change the strap and put one that matches the orange on the dial and the bezel. That'll be my recommendation. So they're the 3 things I mentioned: is the size, bezel, and color match. What I think is Pukka, a sapphire sandwich you got on the bottom and top. That's a sapphire sandwich. Love that. The dial, I do like the diagonal pinstriping. I think that looks really cool. Just adds a little bit of a different aesthetic. The hands and indices, I think the hands are done really nicely. They look like they're really well high polished. I've not really seen hands this sort of shape, so that was good to see. Almost look like oars when you're rowing a boat. Yeah, so pretty cool. The movement, like I said, the Miyota high beat movement, I'm always going to be happy to have that. So yeah, 9039 movement is good. The crowns are finished really well. You'll see it's got like a circle, so that's denoting the fact it's in the rotating bezel. And that's just the M for Marloe. So there you go. The general look of the watch, I think it's a winner. I think it's a really nice, colourful piece. Lots of high polished surfaces to do. Bear in mind, you might get it scratched. But yeah, the general look of the watch is very striking. And the packaging, like I showed you before, that packaging is something else. It felt like, although it's a £400 watch, it felt like when you get that packaging, you spent an awful lot of money, doesn't it? It just feels a bit different to just sort of buying a watch for like £100, £200. It just felt really premium. So they're the things I'll go for. As I'll go with the sapphire sandwich, dial, hands and indices, movement, crowns, general look, and the packaging of it comes in. So, and that'll take me on to now, would I recommend this watch? I think the watch is nice. I think it's a good offering. It's not perfect, but I think if this is the sort of thing you're looking for, then yeah, it's not a bad offering. Lots of things to like. A couple of things that I mentioned, like I said, that bezel, it will drive you nuts. Hopefully you're a bit more capable of lining it up, but you can see what I've done. I've had many watches with these inner rotating bezels, and I haven't really had that problem. But yeah, I probably would. It's not a bad offering. But guys and girls, listen, more than anything, please let me know what you think about this watch. More importantly, and maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care, guys. All the very best.